Hello, God bless you. Well, I want to give you an illustration of how sin separates us from God. As we see, before the fall, God walked with men. We see that in Genesis chapter 1 and 2. Even in chapter 3, after the fall, God's walking in the cool of the evening, and He's asking Adam and Eve where they're at, and they're hiding. Because as we see with the fall, because of the fall, sin separated God and man. Now this next picture right here, you see this, we've done this one a lot. Let's let it go through a time or two. In the beginning, God and man together. Sin separates, it enters, and it separates us from God. So this is kind of going a little fast, we'll let it go through one more time. The beginning, God and man together. Sin enters in, separates God and man. Jesus comes in, bridges the gap. God and man are together again. You see, because of the fall, sin separated God and man. This is our version of that. But you know, the Lord gave me something a little deeper meaning. Not only does sin separate us from God and tear away that gap in between us and God, like I did in another slide, but God showed me that it creates a valley. It gets wider and deeper with every sin. So not only does sin separate God and man, it creates a valley that gets wider and deeper. As you see there on the screen, rather than the other one where it just tears completely straight down, it's getting wider and deeper. The valley gets deeper and wider with every sin. As you see, it grew bigger. It got wider and deeper down. In the Old Testament, they used to use the blood of bulls and goats, the blood of animals. Animal sacrifices were a temporary bridge from God to man. As you see there, it's bridging the gap. But you see there, it's a little rope bridge. It's a temporary bridge. And here's why. Sin, the bridge collapses because sin makes the valley grow deeper and wider. Right? Nothing can bridge that gap that separates God and man. Not animal sacrifices, not our works, we can't be a good enough person. It is only because of Jesus. Jesus was the only one who was worthy. Jesus left his home in heaven, put on flesh and blood and bone, was fully God, fully man, lived an absolutely perfect sinless life, was the only one worthy to pay the punishment for our sins. So Jesus left heaven, built a permanent bridge between God and man. There you see there on the bridge it says the cross of Jesus. That's the only thing that can bridge us to God. Our sin separates us, and Jesus builds that bridge when we trust in his finished work. Because when we trust that Jesus came, died for us, took our punishment in our place, the punishment we all deserve, because we all sin, we all fall short of the glory of God. There's none of us righteous, no, not a one. The wages of our sin is death, but Jesus paid the punishment. He paid God's wrath in our place. He bridged the gap. And as I was creating these slides, God gave me something else. Makes it even more exciting. Not only does, when we believe in what Jesus did, when we admit we're a sinner, believe in who Jesus was and what he did, and confess our sins to God, the ABCs of salvation, we call on the God, ask him into our life, believe in who Jesus was and what he did, but look what happens. In the New Jerusalem, God will walk with man again. There's no separation. You see? Isn't that beautiful? All we gotta do is put our faith and trust in Jesus. And when we do, we'll walk with God, just like he intended in the garden, before the fall, before sin came in and messed everything up. We will once again walk with God. We'll see God face to face, we'll hold him, we'll hug him. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll try to make it into animated picture as well.